So hey everybody, it's Christian from Triple C Management Games. So I have another comic book issue of the day for you. And so here it is, Monday evening here in Japan. And I just finished up reading, I think it's volume 2 or volume 3 of the Blue Beetle. That's right, the Blue Beetle himself. The bug, the man, the super machine that comes in there and takes down everybody. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was actually pretty dang good. I had never read this story. Much different than the new Blue Beetle movie that came out. I do own that issue, by the way, but it's not the same, okay? So in this comic here, this is number 1 of the year. You see right there, number 1. This was from 1986, my birth year. Pretty proud of that one. Whoop, whoop. You know, part of me wanted to go ahead and start collecting comics that are from my birth year. I've seen that kind of stuff out there. There are comic collectors out there that collect, you know, books that come out in the month they're born, the year they're born, or just, you know, just in general that whole genre of book for them, right? But so this one here was pretty good. As you can see, this artwork is pretty dang good. Like I said, 1986 is a newsstand copy. This episode, or this issue of the book is the return of Blue Beetle. So in the beginning side of the book, it talks about how Blue Beetle was retired and how he came out of retirement to basically take down this enemy, okay? The artwork's really good. Very vibrant on the book here. You see the number 1 here. Hey, ready to rock and roll. I really enjoyed it. This is a DC comic. Blue Beetle's great. I didn't know much about him, honestly. But this is actually a really good story. I felt like it gives you a little bit of his background, how he kind of becomes to be the Blue Beetle, and a member of his family he looked up to. And why he becomes the Blue Beetle is essentially, you know, carrying out a wish that his uncle, if I'm not mistaken, his uncle wanted him to carry out. And so he just takes it and moves on with it and runs with it, okay? The cool thing about this book here, it's about a $10 to $15 book and in pretty nice condition. This is, I'd say, probably a 9. Yeah, I'd say it's like a 9 to a 9.2 if it was going to get graded. Anyways, in this issue here, this is a key comic issue. It's because it's the first appearance of Conrad Carapax, which has later become the character Indestructible Man, okay? This series of Blue Beetle, there's 24 total issues here. And there's only, I think 3 or 4 actual key comics in this issue. There are a bunch of first appearances, and that's kind of cool. Those of you that like to collect first appearances, that like DC characters like the Blue Beetle, or just in general, you want to have a number 1, right? This is a good book for you to have. Relatively easy to find, pretty cheap, you know, for like your wallet. But it's something to have. Like if you're that collector, it's a pretty good thing. Yeah, I really like the story. In the story, he fights a character that's basically, he calls him Fire Fist. Like I said, I believe that character does become Indestructible Man in the future. But in the beginning of the book, it's called Fire Fist. And Fire Fist essentially just, like it sounds, he's made of fire. And he just lights everything up on fire. And it goes through the whole issue of him trying to battle Fire Fist and kind of put out the fires. And then we're kind of like what his laboratory kind of walks him through, hey, why this character is fire, okay? They don't really put it together in this book. I'm assuming in the next few issues they talk about, hey, how does Fire Fist or Indestructible Man get his powers, get his fire ability, right? And it comes from the laboratory that they're kind of doing some, scientific experiments on, right? And so it's pretty cool. There's also a female love interest inside the book. I believe her name's Melody. And man, she had the brightest green eyes ever. Pretty cute, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I saw her bring her green eyes, and I'm like, man, those were some big green eyes, right? So if you like big green eye women, blonde, this is your book. Anyways, let me know what you think. Have you read this book before? Are you a fan of Blue Beetle? Do you like first appearances? Do you like, key comics? I tend to use Key Collector. to look up like predominant things about issues, but I use CLZ when I record my comics for my collection. I find that CLZ is a better estimate of value for comics, especially in the graded comic aspect. And it's relatively easy to keep track of your comic books. So if you want to share your collection, or you want to, hey, I have these comics for sale, and you display that collection on like an app or on the internet, or even send off an email, you're able to kind of have someone look at it and say, okay, I see this issue here. You don't have the same stuff on Key Collector. Key Collector is a great app, or you can go on the computer and do it for finding hot books that are now, trending books that are good, like books that have like first appearances, special things about the issue itself. That's pretty cool. So I really like both apps and both websites to really kind of help me guide my way through some of the comic book collection. And then the other thing I like to watch Comic Tom 101. He's on YouTube. He's really, really awesome, very influential in the comic book world. And he has his own Whatnot channel and things, but I really like watching his weekly podcast. He goes over like the top 10 books of the week. He talks about, books that are up in price, down in price. And so I really appreciate that. But if it wasn't for him, I would never really have thought about getting this book when I did a couple years back. Pretty awesome. So again, check out Blue Beetle Volume. I think it's Volume 2, if I'm mistaken. Maybe 3. I have to look at the number, but I think it's Volume 2 or 3. But anyways, check it out. Let me know what you think.
1, 2, 3, 4.